One of the things that we discussed before, and one of the things we always kind of do towards the end of our podcast, is we kind of ask for recommended reading. And what I always do is I went to Amazon and I Googled PCM. I couldn't find anything.
Yes, right? Because you can find all the books on our website, so they're not available.
Those books are available on your website. Is there a particular reason why they're not on Amazon?
No,
probably because the authors don't want to be on Amazon.
No, the publisher doesn't want to be on Amazon.
Okay.
There's one recommendation I can give. One of the guys, one of the colleagues from the US, Nate Regier, he's also a certifying master trainer. He certified me in PCM, and he wrote a really interesting book about PCM. He built it up in a novel. So it's a nice story, like the 1 Minute Manager series.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot about PCM, how it works in the day-to-day life of a manager.
So kind of in a fictional story.
Yes, and it's really easy to read. After 2 hours, you are through, and the doors will open then.
Good.
So I will give you the recommendation. Seeing people through.
Oh, very good. like the title. Yeah. Uwe, I've had a blast. We also asked this question towards the end. My lovely support crew. Do you have any questions for Uwe? Can I add to that? Because you went extreme. You went extreme, which I thought is awesome. She said, how does the external politics of society influence? But there's politics within a company as well. So maybe you can say something about that.
Maybe you can repeat the question because they don't hear me.
Okay, so the question from Nelly was a hardcore question. Was in a world that's full of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, the political situation is heightened. How that has an impact on how people behave in companies. So you might have different factions, whether it's one political view or the other political view. People at their core might like each other, but this is kind of we have kind of this trend of separation right now. So that was the extreme question. I would add that I don't really think politics doesn't just apply to external politics. I think internal politics are just as challenging as detrimental. How to impact that and how PCM might be able to help us with that.
That I want to distinguish two things. I think when you're talking about this external politics, it's very often about values, independent on the party, if it's left, right, up, down, whatever. It's all about
perceived values.
Perceived values, and they fight for these values. And this has, in PCM, we would say, this has a lot to do with Persister energy, with a lot of opinions. And people who have this want to be recognized for their opinions and for their convictions. So what does this mean? Recognized. This means that there's no need to accept it. It's more about keeping the conversation up and running. So I can respect your engagement, your dedication for the things you do, but I will not share the same values. And this makes in communication a huge difference. So it's the building the bridge. So I do not share your values, but I can honor the dedication that you give for this, the work that you invest in, the structures that you're building up. And I have a different conviction. And I'm really interested in your opinion. How can we build the bridge and find a compromise? So I'm using PCM for building a bridge with the Persister language. And this is what's missing in politics, in the external politics right now, is the will to find compromises.
Common ground.
Common ground. So, okay, we know we will not push through 100%, but if we have both 70-70, then we can move forward. And this is the willingness to do, though, is not very high right now. So it's about respecting the position and I don't want the other person to get rid of it, because this you never can do. Just accept it, because then you can still have a communication. The worst word here is but. Because when I start, but now I will explain it to you. From the moment on you use the word but, I disrespect your situation. I put mine
I'm elevating mine.
Yes, and this usually cycles up into a bad story. So this is one thing. And second answer to the inner politics, very often it's a power struggle and people want to climb up the eye ladder. This is a different way.
A paradigm of scarcity. There's not enough for everybody. We have to compete.
This is a different approach. It's more a manipulation game, and it's not. I think it's a different reason for the politics.
I think that's probably more scary because I think to answer your question, I think one of the ways you can probably deal also with the external politics is to create very straightforward rules that are equal for all, and that is to create a secular, non-political safe space within a company where you say, listen, in your private life you can believe and do what you want, but let's create a common understanding of that we respect each other and deal with diversity and whatever else we have. But I think I agree with you. I think the internal politics that can get very scary.
Yeah.